Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another ZRL pre-draft race. Down here, we're now on the streets of Australia, Melbourne. On the new streets, as you can see, cars are starting to head out to track. We're on board with Gary Hamilton in the queue. It's going to be interesting to see the lap times as the track is now reworked. So yeah, I'm joining the booth with MVA, and yeah, MVA, welcome. What are your thoughts on this quality of this race?
Yeah, thanks. It'll be interesting. The lot higher speed this circuit is now with there's a couple corners removed and a bit of exit rework. I'm curious to see how it gets along, if overtaking's any easier. How it does with tire wear, I know, is always an interesting thing to look at this season.
Yeah, you raise a really good point now. So now, as you all know, we get one more tire set for quality. So I think we're going to see lots of drivers go for aggressive push laps because they know they got the tire to do so. So as you can see, drivers are weaving around. Boberto is first in line. He's got track priority, so we're going to see now how well he warms up his tires. He's on the brand new softs. And yeah, let's see if we can get 116, 117. But as the track is pretty green right now, I'm guessing we'll probably see 119, 120, but we'll see. As we see now, Boberto opening up his lap, opening up that rear wing, reaching to about 310, 320 kilometers per hour, braking just around the 50-meter board, trying to get as close as he can to the apex. He does that, gets a good speed. We have a yellow on sector 3, lots of traffic from behind. Meanwhile, Boberto's looking really good, braking just before the 50, trying to get a good grip on the apex. Full speed for this long right-hander, keeps it on the track. Now this next part is pretty tricky, as the braking point is a bit subjective. He's doing really good though, carrying a lot of speed.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how he comes through this chicane. I think we've reworked a little bit, but it's still a bit difficult to nail perfectly, especially with tire temps. It looks like he gets it pretty good through there.
Yeah. Because, like you say, it's pretty easy to lose the back end. But he managed to take it pretty safely. Tricky right-hander, trying to get as close as he can to the inner apex. It's a good exit. Oof, really close to the apex. Coming around the final corner. Tricky to oversteering here, as we have a yellow in sector 2. Oof, just around, and it's gonna be a 1 minute 18.9 as for the fastest lap. So yeah, 118, 117, I think it's gonna be the times as we see drivers from behind him going a bit slower. 118.5 for Gary Hamilton, 118.7 for Freddie Russell, puts him in P3. As well, Fury goes P1 with 118, sorry, correction, Barney Gobi now, 118.3. So yeah, times are only going to get better now, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see if we can get into the high 116s or low 117s. So
as Boberto gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision, which I'm pretty sure was on. I think they were both on cooldown laps, it looks like.
Yep. Oh my god. They might have not have seen each other, probably connection issue, or maybe just sudden deceleration, but I'm pretty sure they'll talk about it after the qualify. For now, yeah, Boberto is dealing with a 5-place grid penalty, which is only gonna push him to go faster, to at least reduce the damage. Right now, running with Red Bull of Corsair. I don't think he's on a hot lap.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Beamer might be. Yeah, it looks like he said a purple sector 1, so we'll hop on board with Beamer.
Let's see on the Rebel with Beamer. Beamer now sliding into D2, trying to make an impression for TPs, especially trying to get to the top teams, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes. So it's gonna be interesting. Lots of drivers to showing their
spins out.
Ooh, as he does. Oh my god. As we were talking about, not that fast chicane, which is pretty punishing if you're trying to take it too fast. Beamer he was going purple sector 1, purple sector 2, and now he's gonna have to go back to the pits, I'm guessing. Because in this game, what's your opinions on that, NBA? Do you go for like, do you fill up for 2-3 laps, go one push lap, recharge, and then go again, or do you just fill for one lap and as we see
I
him
mean,
get
even if you fuel for 2 laps, there's not quite enough ERS to go for 2 straight. So you really kind of have to do, if you want to do 2 push laps, is do 1 push lap, 1 cooldown lap, and then another push lap.
exactly?
And
Yep.
even BRNG doesn't look like his tires are necessarily in the greatest windows. He was kind of sliding around a bit. But it does look like, I mean, he's opening his DRS, maybe going for another lap here.
Let's see what he does. His tires must be a bit hot due to the spin, but yeah, these cars usually tend to overheat a bit more because of a bigger profile size. But anyhow, should be pretty easy to get them back to operating temperature. As we see for now,
fuel as there's yellows following him. You might.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
he
yeah. That's right.
might have ran out of fuel.
Yeah. Good observation. I can't notice that. Yep. So he's just probably trying to make it back to the pits. Luckily, there's a green track behind. There's no traffic, and yeah, most drivers getting into the pits, swapping for a new set of soft compound tire, and yeah, they know the track is improving, so it only goes better. We see as well Barney, Wild Fury, both of them. Well, pretty much everyone going out again. Yeah, as we have, I think we have pretty much around 8-7 minutes left of quali. So
yeah. And
let's
looks
see.
like Dan behind might be about to start his hot lap.
Like I said, the track is only gonna get faster. As we see Dan on the Haas getting ready to open his lap, opening the rear wing, 320 kph. Let's see the times he can do.
Just
Dan, the last driver to go out. Oh, as he goes straight into the runoff, the grass runoff. That's gonna be an invalidation, and he's gonna have to go again. Pretty tricky, no? The turn one. I mean, if you look up, it's pretty much an off track for you, as we see Gary Hamilton invalidating his lap.
Yeah, I'm gonna step away to fix a couple settings here. It makes it a bit of a clearer screen.
Alright folks, sorry for the little intermission, dealing with a bit of technical issues, but now we're back. Situation is pretty much the same. We still have Barney Gordon on pole position with a 118.3. As we are now with Dan's teammate Leaky. Leaky sitting in P4 with a 118.5, trying to get into into that front row if he can. Improving.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Dan left the session as the Haas is now driven by Lando Norris.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting observation.
I don't know if I've ever seen that bug before, but
yeah, I mean, I think
comes across the line with a 117.7, 6/10 up on P2, so he was flying there.
Oh
Track
my God,
evolution, I'm sure, helping him up a little bit.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, Leaky showing what that Haas can do as he goes almost a 10th up on Wild Fury. Times are getting better. 8 minutes left on quali, so yeah. I'm thinking we might see a 116.9. What do you reckon?
I don't know if we'll get that low. I'll put pole maybe at 117.4, 117.3.
Okay, yeah. I think that's doable. We'll see now. Well, pretty much drivers are now between the as Fitz this will has a little spin during his hot lap, but well, luckily he managed to control it. Now he's going again. But yeah, as I was saying, B3 to B9 all sitting within the 118, so pretty tight group we're having, and it's gonna be interesting to see how much more they can improve, because getting that close, just half a tenth, maybe 1/10 can jump me from P9 to P6 if you manage to cook the right lap. As we see Wild Fury right now almost closing his lap, last corner. Never mind, heads to box for a new set of soft compound tires. Your top three are pretty close to each other, all within 1/10, all within the 1/17th, and yeah, it's impressive. It's the showing of the midfield. We have a Haas, an Alpine, and Williams, top three. So great showing from the midfield teams. Ooh, as we see Gary have a slight tap with the wall, and I don't think that slowed him down too much. Hooking the car nice and hooking the car up nicely through that chicane, through that apex, going full speed.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see some of the drivers' times too. As it's a relatively new track layout, and not a whole lot of setups exist for it either. So everyone's still kind of experimenting with
exactly.
a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, you raise a really good point. Setups. How can you as a driver get the most out of your car? Because we all know the driving style of everyone is different. So like a bit of oversteery, understeery, more nervous, and yeah, I mean. It was interesting to see that because on the paddock I've also heard chatter about drivers experimenting with their own setups, going for different combinations. So, like you say, it's a new track and drivers don't know exactly how what to expect, because you do have long straights now with the reworked chicane that they removed. So I think you do need a car that has top speed in order to defend, but then again, for the tricky sector 2, you do need downforce. So what do you do?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting balancing act, especially with the new game. It's always curious to see. It's probably my favorite part of new games coming out is everyone having to kind of experiment and make their own setups, and
it is
provides a lot of variety.
Pretty much drivers. We're heading towards the end. 4 minutes, a bit less than 4 minutes left on the clock, and a lot of drivers going to swap their tires for probably what is their last set of new softs, and trying to see what they can do. Because it's also interesting to see the different assists driver use. Because I'm pretty sure we do have drivers who are running no assists. I can confirm Klinsmann is one of them. Our last race winner, our last Jeddah race winner, which was a beautiful race. We had the pleasure of broadcasting. As we see Boberto going for his push lap. Boberto, who had pole position right at the beginning, now this is his second lap. So let's see if he can get into the 117s, hooking up really nice into the first 2 turns. Getting a lot of speed, trying to break into the 100-meter bore. Getting nice and tight, goes a bit wide. Ooh, hooks the car up nicely through that right-hander. Immediately goes to the left-hander, goes again full speed to the right-hander. Here you want to have as much speed as possible. Hooks the car up nicely, he does. Trying to get a good exit, which he does as well, as we have Labib joining the qualifying. Let's see if Labib can put a lap before this ends. Boberto, meanwhile, pushing on. Let's see if he can hook up the car nicely through the chicane. Coming to the tricky braking point. Ooh, sliding a bit, he does. He gains a lot of time there. I'm thinking he's coming up strong. I'm thinking he might get into the mid 117s. Let's see. If he does, he might give himself a top 3, top 4 position. Coming to the final section. Need the car to be as responsive as possible as he goes a bit of track. Ooh, yeah. He might have lost a lot of time in there. Nevertheless, full speed, he opens DRS, and it's gonna be a 118. Oh, I think he invalidated 118.
I just don't think he went faster. Yeah.
Never mind. No, he didn't. He lost all the time in that last turn. I'm telling you, it's what we're seeing. Drivers, you can lose all your time on one turn, especially that tricky right-hander where the car can oversteer a lot. So
as Wild Fury puts in the new fastest lap.
Wild Fury on 117.7. Going in for, I think his second push lap. Times are only gonna get better from now. But for now, your top 3. Wild Fury 117.7, Leaky 117.781, so 7-1. A couple of hundreds slower than Wild Fury, and then Barney Gordon with a 117.9. Drivers are going in for what it's can be their last hot lap, as we do have less than 3 minutes remaining on the clock. As we are with Leaky right now. I think he is on his hot lap, or yes, he is. Hooking up the car nicely through to the last sector. Let's see if he can snatch pole position. Hooking up the car really nice to the last sector. Open up DRS. Full speed towards turn line, keeps it nice and tight in the left lane. Does not improve with a 117.7. I think, oh, he's going for another push lap. Because he didn't say it was on his outlap, so he might have been going for 2 warm-up laps. As we are on board with Pylon, who moves out of the way for Gary Hamilton. For Hawkins, for Gary Hamilton, who he's on his outlap. Pylon might have thought he's on his hot lap, so, but well. I think he's wanted to get track position right now. As we see, oof. We see the Alpine of Freddie Russell pushing, hoping to snatch that P3 from his teammate Barney Goldmere. These two, that they know each other very well. They were teammates on Aston Martin, and yeah, they make a good pairing. They made a good pairing in Aston Martin. Coming in through that last right-hander, hooking up the car really nicely, not trying to lose the back end, using all of the track, open up DRS. What's gonna be? 118.2. It's gonna be a 117.8, moving up to that top 3. So for now, your positions are as we see drivers returning from the session. We see Leaky, Freddie Razzle. Don't know if they had an accident or just decided to call it quits. But for now, front row, Wild Fury, Leaky, and your second row is
Pylon has
all
a
for
massive spin, and I think he's out
Reddy
of qualifying.
and Barney. We see drivers finishing. Ooh, big crash. We see a big crash from Pylon. Wow. He lost it completely. Aggressive. I'm telling you, like these cars, they can be very snappy, very oversteery, and trying to save them from something like that is nearly impossible. But we see that's gonna be it for the Ferrari driver, who decides to call it quits and retire. Gary Hamilton closing up his final hot lap. Can he put it in the top 3? Can he get it into the 117s? Let's see, getting good rotation, using all of the track, does not invalidate. Puts it up to P6, gains 1 position, so it's a 118.1 for Gary Hamilton. Good climb for the Mercedes driver, which puts him in P6. For now, so yeah, that's pretty much your starting 18. We have Wild Fury, who snatches pole position with a 117.7. P2 Leaky 117.750. So ooh, by 2 thousandths. Is it no? Yeah, 2 thousandths of a second. That's close. We're gonna have a close race here in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. And P3 Freddie Russell with a 117.7. P4 Klinsmann. P5 Barney Goldmere, Gary Hamilton P6, Beamer P7, Pylon P8, Corsair P9, and yeah, those are gonna be your top 9 for the race. So don't go anywhere. Grab a snack, grab a drink, because the Australian Grand Prix is gonna be back in 1 minute.
Alright, we are back, I think, with the start of the formation lap. Tire warming, really important in this year's game. Yeah, so let me pull up the tire map. Who starts on what?
Yep. Perfect. As we can see, we have only three soft runners. So Pylon, the Ferrari driver, Joel Guru, Aston Martin team principal and driver, and Mr. Stars FPS, looking to prove himself to GPs, show that he's a fast reserve. So those 3 drivers, we're gonna have to keep an eye out. they're gonna have to try to get a really, really good start. If as long as they warm their tires, they should have a lot more grip than the guys behind in front. As we see, Condor, the Alfa Romeo driver, opting for a hard strategy. So he might try to go super long or wait for a green to late safety car. So interesting strategy from the Alfa Romeo driver, as he's going to be very vulnerable at the start. As we see drivers zigzagging across, trying to get those tire temps in check, and it's also going to be fun to see how they line up on the grid, and how close they get to that yellow line. As I have to admit, sometimes I have trouble myself lining it up to the perfect purple spot. As we see a spin from Dan. Luckily, no damages enabled. Dan testing the limit of the grip on those mediums. That be with the disconnection. We had no damage for the Haas driver as he manages to get that Haas back up in motion and back to the starting grid. Well, on the good side, he started right up. Yep, go ahead.
It's interesting to see the the tire differences when Goatmere gets disqualified. But I know one of the complaints with no pick firme was it kind of kills a lot of the strategy you can have. But everyone seeming to be getting disqualified from the session. You may have to have a remake here. I don't quite know what's happening.
Yeah, wait, let me check on if there's anything on the Discord. That's pretty weird.
As we have lights out, and I guess we're underway. It looks like everybody managed to be in the session. It was just maybe a formation lap glitch, but coming down into turn 1 here, Nikki holds the lead.
He does, as he gets a really good start. Freddie Russell up into P2, as we see a little tangle up behind. As we see McLaren going up to the runoff area. As we see Freddie Russell going inside, yep. Is he gonna make the move? Oh, he shows up the inside. He's got the inside move. He's got the inside line, pushing Licky up. Licky says he's having none of that as Freddie Russell takes P1.
Yeah, I think he overtook their safety car there. His pilot spun in the back. And I think that was an overtake under safety car.
I completely agree.
Well, we missed. That's a penalty. I don't quite know if it'll get looked at now, but it does not seem to be penalized by the game. It seems to be holding that position.
I agree, but what it seemed is what Freddie did the overtake. I mean, he was already ahead. Licky was ahead before when the yellow flag came. So for now, it looks like Freddie Russell still keeps that P1 lead. Licky 4/10 behind, all stacking up behind the beautiful train, trying to get it into the vacuum of the drivers. Tires are still trying to get to temperature. So yeah, pretty much everybody single file. Barney Gorman trying to follow really close on the slipstream of the Mercedes driver Gary Hamilton. And
speaking of Gary Hamilton, he just spun right as you said his name, unfortunately.
And he's
a little bit of commentator's curse there.
Never fails. Oof, as we see Gary Hamilton going back to push mode, to building from the back, Klinsmann. Well, super close that Haas driver from that Haas from Licky. So it's gonna be interesting to see how close they can get as we see Joel Gruen maybe trying to stick it up and move on Valkyrie. No, he stays tucked in his slipstream. 1 lap until DRS is enabled, gentlemen. 1 lap. So drivers pretty much pushing a lot with DRS, and let's see. Let's see how which driver can manage to save up the most amount of DRS for an attack, because we know DRS is not that effective on this game.
Yeah, as I unfortunately appear to be getting a little bit of an audio glitch here. Not uncommon for this game, but I'm also curious to see the other tire difference. We have Joe Gurley on soft tires, a bunch of drivers in front of him on mediums. I think a couple drivers on hards as well. Just curious to see how much time difference the tires make.
I completely agree. So for now, as we said, those 3 drivers that were on the soft tires, stars, Joel Curran and what was it? Well, in a second if we could pull up the tire graph. And we'll see, as we see Leaky catching up to Freddie Russell as he does put up the fastest lap of the race. DRS is now enabled as every incident tire wear. So only two soft runners, Joel Gurren trying to make the move on Wild Fury. As we see, his tires are working much better. We see the Aston Martin driver with a lot more pace than the Williams driver for now. As we do have a yellow flag in sector 1, looks like a spin. As we see now Boberto on the back of the grid, so he might have had a spin, but nonetheless. The top 8, top 9 getting super close. DRS train starting to form as we see Joel Gurren really tucking in behind the Williams of maybe an opportunity here. Can Senna they move? Oh no, he shows himself. Barney Collins shows himself into through the Ferrari's mirrors. So Klinsmann trying to put Klinsmann under pressure. I don't know if he can, as we see this beautiful shot from the helicopter. All crash on trying to get as close as they can, trying to get a good exit. Let's see if we can make some moves happen into turn 1. Main strain, DRS open, drivers pushing their DRS trying to defend. As we see the gaps keeping, they're saying that there's no, like drivers are not gaining or losing too much time. As we see Fitzstickle with a 3-second time penalty. NBA, how do you think time penalties are going to affect this race? As we see already 2 drivers leaky. Oof, that's huge with a time penalty.
Yeah, I mean, time penalties were almost the difference in last race, but there was also a lot of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of the drivers, a lot of warnings out there, and I'd say probably the majority of them will get a time penalty, especially with that fast chicane towards the start of sector 3.
I agree. As we have a yellow flag, I think Dan, the Haas driver, has spun into turn 2. So let's see if the Haas driver can recover himself and get himself back on the DRS line, on the DRS train. For now, as we see, looks like we see Leaky getting super racy with Freddy. As we see Freddy is struggling to build a gap. He can't get away from Leaky. I think he wanted to build a gap, stay out of DRS zone. As we see the top 3 getting super close between them. Can they make a move now? All of them, as we see a safety car deployed.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what caused that safety car, but both Joel Gurren and Beamer were able to dive into the pits. They should have a pretty good tire difference, but I missed what caused that, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, there was so much going on that the camera can only give us so much. So apologies for that, viewers, but like you say, that safety car is definitely gonna give Beamer and Joel, if they didn't have damage, a chance to launch a huge undercut, because the time lost is, I think normally it's 25 seconds, but with VSC it's something like 17-16. So, and if they get a good stop, it might be high 15. So definitely a chance for the 2 drivers to gain some positions in the pit stops.
Unfortunately, we come out of VSC and a couple drivers get some drive-through penalties, but
that's gonna be their race pretty much done, I'm guessing. As you were saying, perhaps the VSC was caused by some type of debris. This game does take that into consideration. As we see, Barney Goldmere having a huge moment and losing that Alpine front wing. So that's gonna be a pit stop for Barney Goldmere, and that's unfortunately going to send him back into the bottom places. Barney was having a really good race. He was top 4, pushing for podium. But now he has left his teammate Freddy to deal with the attackers from behind. We see a yellow sector 3 as we see the Mercedes driver that's in his Hawkage, who had a little moment. Nonetheless, we see Leaky still on the attack, still trying to find that gap, still trying to find that overtake spot, trying to put Freddy under pressure. Then he's super close. He does not want to lose the slipstream of Freddy. Let's see if Leaky is also starting to think about possible pit stops. He might want to undercut, overcut. For now, they both seem that they have pretty reasonable pace. Klinsmann staying also in DRS zone with Leaky, as does Wild Fury. And that's your first DRS back. 4 seconds back is Gary Hamilton. And then Fitz is 5 seconds back from Gary Hamilton, followed by Kahuna, who has drive-through penalty for speeding on the pit. So yeah, the race I think is pretty much starting to settle in. Drivers starting to find pace. We have a really exciting battle here in the top 4, as we do have a yellow flag. I think that's Alfa Romeo. That's Condor the Fox who had a moment. So Barney says thank you very much. He takes that P15, going back into this beautiful shot. We see the Ferrari driver getting super close to Leaky. All of them have DRS with Freddy, who doesn't, who's leading the pack. But as you can see, within the Alpine has a lot of downforce as we see Klinsmann losing distance on the straight. So probably saving ERS or opting for a lower downforce. What are you saying, V?
Yeah, the setup differences I think are going to play a huge role here, but also it seems like it's a bit hard to overtake even with some of the track changes. There haven't been, and I can pull it up here, there have not been a whole lot of position changes besides crashing.
Yep, I completely agree. So drivers having a really hard time, trying to get a good exit out of the main straight, and yeah, it shows that probably if you manage to have a low downforce setup, you can pretty much defend versus drivers. As we see, Freddie Russell getting put under pressure yet again from Leaky. As we see Klinsmann getting a really good exit out of that chicane. He's gonna send it. He looks a bit. He has a little look. He decides to stay back in the slipstream of Leaky. So now these drivers are going to have to start thinking about their pit stops, especially Leaky, because he knows he has a 3-second time penalty. So he knows right now he's out of podium contention. As well, Fury is super close to Klinsmann. Yellow flag. We did have a yellow flag. I think that was a McLaren. McLarens who were trying to bounce back. If 12 and 14 for them. We see Leaky getting closer and getting closer. He's gonna send the move. No, he's too far. You see, it's like he gets close, but he just needs 100, 200 more meters. But Fred is doing an amazing job defending under pressure. He knows he has the train behind, and he just has to keep his cool. As we do have McLaren, who just spun. That's unfortunately Kahuna, and yeah. Right now, I think
Joel Gurran in the pits again. I think he might have gotten some damage, unfortunately. He drops down to 13.
Joel Gurran, who did set the fastest lap of the race with a 121.8, and yeah, unfortunate to see him again in the pits. As we see Leaky getting a huge exit out of the last chicane, he's gonna send on the inside. Fred says no, that's my position. He closes the door, keeps Leaky under P2. We have a yellow in sector 1. I think that's Fitzstickwell's AlphaTauri. It's a really tricky corner, as we see Wild Fury getting super close to that Ferrari of Klinsmann. Freddy getting some distance between him and Leaky. Leaky, I think he's saving the ERS, or had a bad exit. But all of these 4 drivers sticking super close to each other, trying to put each other under pressure and basically forcing one of them into a mistake.
The interesting thing here is, though, that they can't seem to overtake. They're close, all within 1 second, some even as little as 1 to 2 tenths, but none of them can seem to make the overtake and make the move stick.
I completely agree. I think they're waiting for a mistake, because they know that it's because getting out of slipstream apparently loses a lot of speed. So as long as they're in that vacuum, they might think they can make it, but once they move out of it, they feel like it's probably best that I stick back in. As we see Wild Fury, having a look on the inside, on the outside, left and right, but probably thinking that it's best to stick behind the Ferrari. So for now, 9 laps out of 29. Top 5 positions are Freddie Russell on the Alpine, Leaky on the Haas, Klinsmann on the Ferrari, Wild Fury on the Williams, and Gary Hamilton, of course, on the Mercedes. Gary Hamilton, basically on no one's land. It's always pretty much Corsair and Stars, pretty much all of them running their own race. But these four, as we see Leaky lose DRS to Freddy for a moment, so he will not have DRS for this straight as we don't see his rear wing opening. Can that be a sign of tire degradation or maybe just a mistake?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure, but besides the top four, it also seems like the field is getting really spread out as it looks like we're about to come up on our first blue flag here too with Condor.
Yeah, with the Alfa Romeo driver, as we did see earlier a yellow flag. I think that was one of the Mercedes driver. I think that was Hawkins Roldy, not sure. And yeah, pretty much Leaky once again pushing to stay within Freddy's DRS, manages to close the gap as we see Condor moving out of the way, very sportsman-like. And these top four just keep on fighting as we go back into the helicopter cam, into this beautiful set of turns into the last sector. Here's where exit is super important. We see Wildfury trying to get as close as he can. All drivers trying to get the power as early as they can, without taking too much exit curb, because we know that and really alter the balance of the car. Leaky, 1 second away from Freddy. So Freddy, still having that ERA, still managing well, still knowing that. I think not only Freddy, but most drivers are starting to realize that it's being complicated trying to get a pass. I mean, unless the driver ahead of you really messes up their exit or their braking point, then it's hard. As we see,
another safety car. And again, not sure. Looking at the track map, where that came from. No major loss in time.
we didn't see any.
Barney
debris,
Goodman
right?
jumps into the pits. He might have gotten some damage or just got lucky with the safety car. But again, don't know where that safety car actually came from.
Lots of drivers opting to Joel Gruen again into the pits. He might go for an aggressive soft tire if he still has a fresh or a relatively new scrubbed set of softs. But yeah, for now all drivers keeping within the delta, which is pretty tricky, as on the earlier safety car, on the earlier VSC, we saw a lot of drivers. Speaking of top four drivers into the pits, let's see if VSC can last long enough for them to benefit, or if Gary Hamilton is going to be the one. As Gary Hamilton decides to take that Mercedes to the pit lane for a new set of, what could it be? Can soft tires make it to the end, NBA?
I really don't think so. No, I'll pull up the tires here. All the top five pit to hards.
Okay, so that
pretty much everybody not on hards will pit to hards. I think Beamer is the first driver to stay out and not pit during this. I think it is a full safety car.
Yeah, because we only see on our screen it says yellow flag throughout whole sectors, but no safety car.
There is the safety car ahead of.
Oh, you're right.
Ahead of Raz.
Is it? Yep, it is. Sorry, yeah, my screen was lagging. So yeah, it's the full-blown safety car, and I don't know. Maybe drivers thinking that it's a full-blown safety car, perhaps one of them goes for the softs. No, they don't. Everybody going for the safe move. But do we have a restart? Because those hard tires are gonna be stone cold after the restart, especially going. That's the one of the safety car. All of them are gonna have a lot of. They're gonna have a hard time getting those tires up to temperature.
One thing this does do though is close up the grid. As we were kind of spread out. Besides for the top four, it'll close it up and hopefully make it a little more interesting for the people a bit further down the field.
Precisely. That's what we want, because we did see the top four, not gapping, but pulling a nice stretch towards the other field. They all kept it pretty close, but now, what do you think is on Freddy's mind right now? I mean, he had it under control. He knew they would make the pass. Leaky was sometimes even 1.1 seconds away. So, and now he knows he has 20 drivers behind him, all on the tires.
Well, as Frenchman goes into the pits again.
He does. I don't think he had damage.
We'll see as he hits here. Yeah, no damage. Oh no, he did have damage, but he switches to the medium tires as well. He drops
Damn,
out of
he's gonna lose.
that top
Oh
four
no, yeah.
race.
There's the wind change. Yep, he had damage. All right. So that explains it. So unfortunately, Klinsmann losing that the third spot, which brings him back to P10, which gives Wild Fury P3. Something he was chasing after for this race. As you can see, the safety cars stay out for yet another lap until all drivers stack up, and probably that's gonna give us what, 1 or 2 more laps of being under safety car. Drivers probably thinking how they can keep the tires keep those tires up to temperature, as we see many of them weaving on left and right, trying to keep those hards into those operating green temperatures. But yeah, as you say, it's a whole new race from now. Everybody on the same strategy. These are supposedly these will be the tires that these drivers will lead to the end if they don't have any setbacks or if there's no safety car. So yeah, everything that's going to happen is going to have to happen on track now.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how much this changes anything for the top three, especially with Luki having a 3-second penalty. If he wants that win, he's going to have to pass Raz and then pull a gap, which might be a bit difficult with the supposed pace of the three of them being pretty similar throughout.
Yep, I can completely agree. Safety car does it go in this lap? We see drivers frantically weaving left and right. I don't know. As they go yet for another lap. Probably the last lap, as I don't think safety car or race control is going to give Fitz and Condor the chance to ask Fitz, just jinx him, I guess, as he leaves the session. Hopefully he can rejoin.
Pits again.
He does. Oh, he was on 11 lap old mediums.
Oh, did he get
tires.
his tires messed up? And he pits to softs, which I don't think can make it 15 laps.
I mean, it's
So
just a Hail Mary strat, right?
It's fitting, yeah. He's in the Ferrari and they fucked his strategy.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, this game is too real sometimes. You can't overtake on Australia. Ferrari messes up Klinsmann's strategy. It's all a bit too real. Both has drivers in the points, so it's nice to have a little IRL action here in Australia. As we see drivers all already stacked up, probably this is going to be the last lap of safety car. Drivers already know that. We want to start hitting on those tires, and let's see what kind of restart Freddie gives us. Is he
gonna get confirmation the safety car is in this lap?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yep. So safety car does come in this lap. Freddie slows down, trying to get the safety car space. Cars very much have the limiter on, so they're trying to make it's gonna be a bit tough, but let's hope. Let's hope those tires.
Calls for Freddie's Spinzel time.
Let's see. Rebus, he's somehow he knows stuff, so he might have some inside info on the Alpine garage. Let's see.
He called it. No.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Has Freddie spins it on the restart.
Oh no. Rebus coming in with the biggest jinx of all time as Raz drops all the way down to 13th. Leaky inheriting the lead.
I'm telling you, he knows stuff. He knows too much sometimes. As we see Leaky taking P1, trying to build a gap while Fury sticking 6 tenths behind. Leaky frankly on the race, trying to warm those tires up. So it tells us that those tires are not still up to temperature. Drivers doing a bit of understeer. Gary Hamilton trying to put the Williams driver under pressure. As we see Leaky still 5 tenths, trying to build that gap. Pretty clean restart besides the Spinata from Fred.
I think he unfortunately spun again too as he drops down to 16th place. Not the restart Raz would have wanted, unfortunately.
Yeah, as we see Fitz did well, get a 3-second time penalty. But But yeah, as you say, I mean that's also the psychological aspect. He was probably mad, wanted to get back in, he pushing too hard. But now, who's pushing too hard is Mo Fury, trying to put Leaky under pressure, trying to stay within that DRS zone, or if he tries, or if he can, trying to force Leaky into a mistake. Gary Hamilton leaving himself a few tenths, trying to watch what the front two are gonna do. And Beamer, who we saw, he was in the midfield for most of the race. His safety car has helped him, and he's now in the fight. Even though he does have a 2-second time penalty, I don't know. He's gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah,
But we see
Hamilton also gets a 3-second time penalty.
He does. 1 second behind, but okay. Anyhow, it's nice to see this. As we see Boberto and Beamer fighting for P6. It's Boberto who comes out on top, while Fury still trying to put Leaky under pressure, still trying to making nervous. And as we see Beamer and Stars and Joel Gurr, it's a three-way fight for P6, both Aston Martin teammates. Let's see, Stars, I think he's going to give that position to his teammates, so they're working together, a bit of teamwork. Beautiful. Stars tucks behind the slipstream of Joel Gurr. So let's see. It's Aston Martin on the hunt for the Red Bulls. Meanwhile, up front, while he's 210, he's sticking really close with Leaky. And Joel Gurr trying to have a little look down the inside of Beamer. Beamer is not too phased. He closes the door pretty quickly and down into the main straight. So 2 more laps until DRS, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2 more laps. While Fury trying to get
DRS is enabled this lap, actually.
Oh, DRS, yeah, sorry. DRS is not enabled. Thank you for the correction. So now let's see if we can make some moves happen. Let's see if they're close enough, as they won't have it on this straight, I'm pretty sure, because it's once all drivers cross the start finish, so we're still missing the Mercedes of this rolling towards the line. But nonetheless, we see Joel Gurr going down the outside of Beamer. Beamer breaks late, keeps the position close to the door. Joel tries to go down the outside. Ooh, it's super tight. He's gonna get the move. He has the inside from the next turn. Beautiful move. So that's our first second overtake we see. But Beamer, he's not having it. He's trying to stick himself in the gearbox of Joel Gurr, but he knows it's lost.
As I think Barney was the one who spun there, pulling out, I think a VSC, maybe full course safety car. It is a VSC.
Yeah, it's a VSC. So Barney, pushing right, not the best weekend for the Alpine drivers.
Unfortunately not, as looks like Kahuna and Hokic are also stopped on track and had a severe collision according to the in-game penalty system.
Like we say, I mean, Delta is pretty tough. I mean, I'm thinking maybe Kahuna or Hokic, they probably Kahuna because he was ahead. He probably braked to keep his Delta in check. Hokic probably didn't expect that. And
As Klinsmann is into the pits again.
Ferrari,
unfortunate. A lot of pits for him, and 3 other drivers joined him in the pits, possibly for damage.
Yeah, because for now, I mean, the front runners are.
Oh, it is a full course safety car.
It is.
It might have gotten upgraded with the collision between Kahuna and Hoking, but it is a full course safety car.
It might have to do with that, because probably the game assumed that more reached the chance. So interesting to see how the game hits these collisions and how much importance does it gives in order to take out the safety car or not. But now your new leader, the Haas driver Leaky, P1, he does have a 3-second time penalty, so your virtual P1 is Mo Fury. And third place is Gary Hamilton. Gary Hamilton once again with a beautiful comeback. We saw he had an incident on the first laps of the race, and now he's back into podium contention. A lot of drivers with time penalties actually. Stars, Labib, Condor, Klinsmann, Barney, Kahuna, and Wild Fury are the only ones without time penalties. So, yeah, as NBA said earlier, we're gonna see a lot of drivers with the penalties.
Yeah, it seems to be something they possibly made stricter or just a bit more difficult to keep it inside track limits with these new cars that everyone's getting used to. But you know, if Wild Fury can keep without a penalty and keep in the DRS of Leaky, it should be a pretty easy last 9 or so laps that are left, depending on when the safety car comes in.
I think that's his stand, because he knows right now, like he's been pressuring Klinsmann throughout a good section of the race. He knew he couldn't make the overtake. He knew Klinsmann couldn't make the overtake on Vicky at the final speed too. So now I think he's thinking exactly that. I mean, I just have to stick behind Vicky, not let the gap grow more than 2 seconds. Preferably stay within the DRS zone of him, and it's a win. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. Trying to heat up these tires on these conditions. They're already old, 7-old hard tires for most of them. So on the mediums, so you might have better chance at gaining a couple of snatching some positions. And Aston Martin is really good in the points, 6 and 7. And yeah, let's see if Licky can bring it home. I wonder what he's thinking now. I hope I don't spin like Freddie. Let's see.
Yeah, hopefully no jinx there, but it does look like we'll get possibly another lap of safety cars. Now everyone is quite caught up to the grid.
But that's gonna be Hawkage. He's Fitz, Hawkage, and Kahuna and Barney relatively on the soft tires. So those last 4 cars there are gonna be super aggressive in the restart. So I'm pretty much. Dan is probably thinking, oh boy, you know what have I got myself into? He has to defend from cars with much faster tires, and let's see what he does. As this is very close to the lap, and I'm probably thinking it's gonna be the last lap. So we're gonna have 9 laps left of racing, and it's gonna be down to the wire. So as we said, everything that needs to happen is gonna happen on track right now. No more pit stops, no more nonsense. Everything is gonna be clean racing.
Once again, I'm curious to see if tire differences will come into play at all here. As 11th and 12th are both on pretty much new soft tires. I'm just curious to see if they'll be able to cut their way up the field. But overtaking is actually looking like it's to be a struggle here in Australia.
Right now, if we take into consideration the state of the tires, and Freddie with cold 8-lap-old tires, and Beamer and Klinsmann with relatively fresh softs, I mean, they may have a chance, but like you say, it's complicated to try to get a good overtake, because like once you go for the overtake, you know that you have to leave space, and if you want to make it to a light car, you're gonna have to leave. So it really puts a lot into perspective. But we'll see as well.
Car is confirmed in this lap. Leaky's slowing down, the driver's bunching up.
Yep. That's really the safety car slowly making his way.
As a collision between Kahuna and Hokage here. Unfortunately, did not slow down in time. Another 5-second penalty. Getting a severe collision under safety car.
Hawkage on the receiving end on that collision, but nothing you can do, as probably they didn't expect Leaky to slow down, but it was only not normal that he wants to get a good restart. He wants to get the jump on Fury, but Fury getting super close to Leaky. He does not want to leave the fast driver, and even as he makes the final push, he doesn't. He's waiting. All of them pouncing, ready to put the pedal to the metal. As Leaky makes the push into turn 1. None of them has left. All of them.
P8.
As we see,
he's 7 after
that. Hamilton with a big snap of oversteer. Oh my God! It's back into P14 for him. Oof, all tires.
A great restart from Beamer, who jumped up a great couple positions and looks like he's going to get another overtake on Stars here. Those soft tires really working for him.
Beamer getting super aggressive, getting super close down the inside lane. He's got the inside. Is Stars gonna even? No, he passes through. Now Stars is gonna have to take really. He's gonna have to try to stick really close. See if he can. Oh, Stars is slowing down. He's losing a lot of positions. We see Barney Goldmere, Klinsmann going through. Barney Goldmere getting super close. All into this fast chicane, single file. As we see Beamer on the hunt for Roberto, who's sitting on those 9-lap old tires. He's struggling for grip now. As we see Joe Gruen sticking really close into the back of Corsair. It's everything in play right now, from P1 to P10.
As Corsair jumps in the pits, Joe Gruen inherits P3, and I think Beamer is looking to get another position here.
Because he's fighting with Klinsmann, wheel to wheel. He does get the position made. Now he's looking into he's trying to get P4 now. Let's see if he can get a good exit. Who's the car really nicely. He gets some good traction. Man, the final corner is sticking super close into the back of that McLaren. Roberto going a bit defensive, trying to block Beamer into getting the perfect exit. Beamer sticking super close into the back into practically the gearbox. As we see Klinsmann arriving.
Has an insane mission to do on 10-lap old hards with 3 fresh soft runners behind him. If he wants to keep that position, he's going to have a lot of defending to do.
He doesn't know what he's signing up till it was too late. But it's Klinsmann, as we see, he paid what, like 10, no, not 10, but like 4 or 5 times up into P6, into podium position contention, perhaps. As we see a really tight battle for P4, as we see Roberto slowing it down massive. This is only benefiting Wild Fury, who did make the pass on Leaky. I think we missed that. I'm sorry, but now Wild Fury is leading the race, so this is oxygen for Leaky and for Joe Guren, who are making themselves.
Another VSC here, as I think Dan spins it out of the fast chicane. Gonna slow things down a little bit.
Drivers trying to get a breath now, but this group really interesting from Joe Guren, Roberto, Beamer. They're all trying to get super close, trying to get as close as they can to the zero delta. Trying not to lose too much time on the VSC. This is particularly good for all the soft runners. You know, their tires are going to cool down, but then again for the hard runners, they're going to have a really hard time on the restart.
I think this falls right into Wild Fury's hands too, as he's the only driver in the top 5 without penalties.
So we see, perfect. We see. So 3 seconds for Leaky, 5 seconds for Joel Guren, and 6 seconds for Roberto, and 3 seconds for Beamer. So everything is in place as we have Dan. Adding yet to list with a 5 second for speed. Tricky to find the breaking point. Let's see if the VSC can go green once again. As we see Beamer.
As Joel Guren gets another 3-second time penalty, putting him up to 8 seconds, unfortunately.
Yep.
We go green and DRS is enabled.
DRS is enabled as we go racing once again. Beamer, I think he slept a little bit on Roberto. No, he did not, as he quickly makes up that time lost. Trying to stick really close. He knows he needs a good exit. He knows this is his one and only clear chance at getting Roberto. Ooh, he's trying to dig down the inside. He's already sticking it down the inside, trying to get good traction. DRS open. We see that Red Bull wing wide open. As we see, he make the mistake.
The pass of Roberto too. Just Roberto's tires not holding out. All 3 soft tire drivers are looking like they're going to get past him before he can make it stick on the outside in this turn. He does. All 3 drivers get past him in less than a lap.
Beautiful racing from these 4 drivers. As we see, Roberto, I think he kind of knew it was coming. He knew that his tires wouldn't hold up, but now he's still looking at that at a top 10 finish. As we see Kahuna getting a 3 second due to multiple warnings, track limits. But now, with only 5 laps left to go, these drivers are still in contention for the top 3, maybe podium position. So
depending on how much Klinsmann's able to push forward, regardless of the strategy errors that were made, he might end up on the podium. He's looking, I think, now at a P3 or P2, especially with penalties.
So he makes a move down the inside. He will get the move done on Beamer. Beamer has to yield because he had the inside line. So now who's gonna get the average?
Oh, as Wild Fury spins. Wild Fury spins.
Wild Fury does spin. Oh, no! Complete drama.
Super unlucky.
Complete drama. As we see Leaky with a 121.1 fastest lap of the race, meanwhile, that will put Wild Fury into P9, sorry. What a race. While I was looking for a certain win for Wild Fury, as a disaster. As we see your new top 3 Leaky, Joel Guron and Klinsmann. Klinsmann with an amazing recovery with all those incidents with Ferrari.
Another 3 seconds, and Barney DNFs. I think Barney crashed out.
He does. Ooh. This is huge. Will we have a safety car with only 3 laps left? I think safety car window is closed in the game. But unlucky. Unlucky spin for Barney, it was looking really good for both Alpine drivers. Unlucky, one of them out, and sitting in P16 with a 3-second time penalty. Unlucky. Meanwhile, back to the front, we still see Beamer trying to stick into the back of Klinsmann. Known to be, a really good manager of, well, he's known to be really good for managing tires and especially ERS. Don't be fooled if he starts to slow down. He might be doing some charge laps, ready to unleash it all on the final lap. As Beamer still.
Penalties are really going to shake up this top 10 here. We have ranging from 3 seconds all the way to 20 seconds worth of penalties. Regardless of where you finish on track, it is not going to be where you finish in the books.
So everybody's position is virtual, except Klinsmann. Well, Klinsmann, he could be looking for a potential win if he manages to close down the gap to Joel Guron, who's 2 seconds away from Leaky. So let's see, Joel Guron, 3 laps left to try to make 3 qualifying laps and trying to reduce that gap to less than a second. As you see, Stars, he has been pretty quiet this race, sitting within the points. Team player, he let Joel through, and now he's fighting with Roberto. Roberto knows that Stars he has. I think his tires are a bit newer, still on those on the hard compound, but with a bit more life. What do you think? Will he get the move done on track, or will he wait for penalties? Because right now he knows he has the position because of penalties.
Yeah, it'll be interesting though, because Roberto could play the team game and try to back him up into Kahuna, because Stars and Kahuna both have the same amount of time penalties.
As we did see, Stars is light flash, so that's probably showing that he is pushing, he is trying to get the move done. But yeah, with only 2 laps left to go, it's all war on track. I'm not sure. Ooh, as we see, Wild Fury making the comeback, getting the P7. He says thank you very much. Goes a bit off track, manages to keep speed up and takes the position from Kahuna, who tries to come back, but no, he can't.
Wild Fury could be in for quite the recoveries. I think right now he's in a theoretical P4 after penalties.
Okay.
My math might be a bit off there, but
yeah, mine too. So don't worry. But yeah, P4. Perhaps let's call it P4. And I think Wild Fury knows that. I mean, he knows he has to make 2 insane laps. He has to give it everything. He has to push to the limit in order to try to and save up some points. Trying to save up some glory. He had it in his hand, but yeah, that like we say, higher temperatures and oversteering cars. As we see, it's the good. Penalty. This track is unforgiving. Nothing to say.
Looks like a lot of drivers' tires and batteries are starting to die off. So we see them spread out just that little bit more after that restart.
It's just when you want to push more, it's when the car tells you no, right? When you have cold tires, a bit less fuel, low ERS, worn tires. Obviously, Klinsmann within DRS of Joel Guron. So he has made that time up. Let's see if he can make
3 or 4 tenths off first place too.
Yeah.
If he can keep it clean and get past Joel, or just stick really tight in the DRS, he might be able to sneak another victory here.
Back, he wants it. He knows he can get it, but he knows that he needs to get past Joel in order to make it. Can Leaky in one lap put 2 tenths between him and Bob Guren? But right now, Leaky knows that if they fight, it's a wrap for him, and I think Klinsmann knows that. So he's probably looking for the place to get in without losing too much time. Showing himself a bit on the inside, trying to put Joel nervous, trying to show him that he's already there. Showing him his intentions, trying to get the move done as we head into what is the final lap. The leader is already on lap 29. As we see Klinsmann really close to Joel Guren. Can he get the perfect exit? We'll have DRS. As we see Leaky, that is the gap. That is the visual gap you're seeing over there.
Oh, as Klinsmann gets a 3-second penalty on exit, though, all of those efforts out the window. He has secured P2, but no longer fighting for P1 through penalties, unfortunately. So we'll head back on board with Wild Fury, who is going for an overtake on Stars into this corner.
He is. Making the move Wild Fury getting super close. He will have the exit, and no, Brian, he decides to tuck behind. Ooh. We did see Beamer make the move on Roberto there. Of course, there was a huge tire difference, but yeah, it shows that it is possible. As we see Joel Guren going back at Klinsmann, both of them fighting for that P2. As we see, ooh, too wide into that fast chicane. Joel has to concede. Oof, that was nice. That was some hard racing between that Ferrari and that Aston Martin. Joel will have DRS as he goes over the curb a bit, loses a bit of balance, but not speed, as we see him practically a prolongation of that Ferrari. This is it. Can he make the move done? Last corner. As we see, Leaky wins the Australian Grand Prix, P2 Klinsmann, and Joel Guren brings it home for your top 3. That is your podium position. Leaky with an amazing drive against all odds, with a little help of luck, but with a lot of composure, he manages to bring it home. P1 Klinsmann with that unfortunate time penalty. He would have been P1, but has to settle for P2. And Joel Guren, your top 3, round up your podium. Amazing race. What do you think, NBA?
Yeah, it was a crazy race, and again, similar to Bennett, it came down to almost penalties in the end, with track limits being a bit harder this game than the last game to manage.
Completely agree. Much harder to manage than the last game as well. So, because of the bigger profile tires, but yeah, oof, hectic race. Let's see if we can get the podium finishers on the call, and yeah, and let's see if we can get a word from them. So, Leaky, Colin, and where's Joel? But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, let's wait until they. Okay, here we go. Joel, congratulations! What a drive, man! All the way from midfield to P3, kept it clean. Beautiful drive. So tell us a bit about it.
Not really clean. It was messy at times.
Yeah.
Just got lucky with some safety cars and got in the groove, got out of the groove.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sorry. How hard was overtaking on Australia?
It was pretty easy when I was on the softs. Mediums, it was hard. They're going off. It's kind of like not confident on them.
Okay.
Haven't really done much 50%ers, so I'm not used to how the car reacts later on.
Did you go for a default setup, or did you spice things up and mix it up a bit?
I had my own setup.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
nice. You see, it's good to see that drivers are experimenting now with different setups. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
yep.
modified it from Graz, Aaron,
Okay,
uh, my setup guru, dude.
beautiful. So it's like a mixture. It's good though. It's good. Just like food, you mix a bit of something and it turns out to be great. So once again, congrats from P11 to P3. Great drive. And yeah,
Yeah.
congrats on the podium. Any insight or any clue as to who are you looking for your teammate in D2?
Uh, it's pretty solid. Just got to make sure he doesn't get picked.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you already have someone in
Already with the
mind.
I do.
secrecy coming from the team principals.
There you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Joel already has his teammate on his mind. Let's see. We're gonna have to wait until draft day, this Sunday. Make sure to tune in. Joel, thank you very much. Great
Thank you,
drive
guys.
and congrats.
Yeah,
Bye.
Have a
congratulations.
good one.
You too. Now let's get Colin, P2. Colin, congratulations, man. P2, really good drive. Really unfortunate time penalty at the end, which could have gotten you P1, but yeah, tell us a bit about your drive.
Well, it was a learning experience. I learned that you only have one set of mediums because I tried to put a set of mediums back on and it put my original set back on. So I
Yeah,
hit the
you
wall
had
and it did
quite
exit on the
the
hards. So I had to go back in, and then I ended up hitting like 3 times under that safety car to get on a fresh set of tires. But it was fun. It was eventful. But I killed somebody on the last safety car restart, and so that was
Oh,
lame.
okay.
I think I spun Condor. I think I kind of punted him into turn 3.
All right. Okay. I think we might have missed that, but yeah. Unlucky. I mean, it's one of the things. It's racing, but
Yeah. Otherwise, it
but
was fun coming through on the softs there at the end. It was a good time. I had a good battle with Joel there on the last lap.
yeah. We were seeing. I mean, you caught up to him, and then yeah, trying to go too wide into that fast chicane.
Yeah,
Really
that
good
was
racing.
scary.
Really good racing from both of you. Yeah, really exciting to be able to broadcast. But yeah, congrats on P2, and I think you're making a pretty good showing for TPs. One win, P2 now. So yeah, expect to be picked top of the list perhaps.
I don't know about top, but I'm hoping I go to one of the top teams. But I've had a couple of good races in a row, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you
any
have it.
insight on the draft? Have any team principals reached out to you? Any information you want to give team principals?
I mean, I've only talked to one briefly, but no, I mean, like I said last time, I'll show up. I said I'd keep it clean, and then I punted somebody this race. But typically, I try to keep it pretty clean, and I think I'll be pretty reliable in D3.
All right, sounds good. There you have it. Once again, congrats on P2, and excited to see what you can do in Bahrain if you can make it, of course.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right,
Yeah,
have a
congrats.
good one. And now for your race winner. Leaky, congratulations on P1, man. Great drive. Really good job keeping it together. So tell us a bit about your race.
It wasn't too bad. Got a pretty good start, but had a terrible turn 1 and 2, and Raz got the jump on me before that first VSC jumped out, and it was tough trying to keep up to him. So hats off to him for a really good first stint. Super unfortunate that he spun out there on the last 2 corners, heading onto the main straight. But other than that, wasn't too bad. Was kind of worried there at the end with Colin staring down my neck and having that 3-second time penalty, and I was pretty relieved to see that he got a 3-second one on the last lap as well. So overall,
Yeah.
good race.
Yeah, we were just commenting on that. Like we're looking at your times. You were being pretty consistent, but yeah, Colin was gaining. So we're trying to figure out what the gap was gonna be. But then yeah, luckily for you, he did get that time penalty, and yeah, hats off to you. Keep it pretty consistent. Had great second and third safety car restarts, and yeah, like you say, it's about consistency, keeping it clean, and pulling through. So anything you wanna shout out to TPs or to any TP in particular for draft?
Not to any in particular, but I know it was very unfortunate for Wild Fury to spin there on one of the safety car restarts, or to spin out on one of the corners.
Yep.
But anybody would be, for the lack of a better word, dumb not to look at the two of us as teammates. We've raced together for the past 2 years in another league, consistently
Okay.
where we are. As the gap between us in qualifying is what our gap is every single track. So
Okay. All right, makes sense. But yeah.
Interesting. A package deal there, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
I would say so. We're in comms every time. I mean, even when I made the mistake out of 3 there,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that he was kind of right behind me. I wasn't going to try and fight that back, so I just told him to let him go and figure the
Okay.
two of us can try and pull a gap on the guy that was in third.
Yep. Yeah. True. Because yeah. Like I say, on the first laps, you did keep it pretty clean. Tried to get Freddy to get himself nervous, but did you have a hard time? Like, was it hard to get an overtake around Australia?
Yeah, I don't know if it's. Oh, there's the dog. It doesn't seem like the ERS DRS combo, whenever you're using it, is as powerful as it used to be. You
Okay.
used to be able to at least get yourself kind of in contention to maybe force an overtake on some of the shorter straights, but it is tricky. If you don't get the power down well out of the last corner, you don't really have a chance going into 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't get a good exit out of the quick chicane there out of sector 2, it's tough to try and make an overtake down into that deep right hander. So it is tough, and I thought that I kept my cool for the most part. Had a couple little quick snaps of oversteer, but it is what it is. Cars feel a little bit different in online than to Grand Prix mode, so it'll be something I have to look at going forward.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
thank
man.
you for your insight, and yeah, congrats again on P1, and excited to see what you can do in Bahrain for the final race before draft. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you guys very much. Good job on commentating.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate that. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Australian Grand Prix, the pre-draft Grand Prix for GRL. And if you want to join, links on the YouTube description. Join. We have 4 divisions plus an Xbox division. Super clean racing, as you see, super exciting racing. So yeah, hope to see you all on track, and make sure to tune in for the next race, which is gonna be on Saturday for the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we're gonna be broadcasting Grid 1, which is our fastest drivers of the league. So without further ado, thank you NVA for having me on the booth. Thank you for broadcasting this race with me, and I hope to see you all very soon. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.